Everyone. I just want to thank everyone for joining us on our fifth day on our series of lectures for the month of Ramadan on the topic of reflections and lessons in the Holy Quran. To begin our session, I'd like to request Brother Rasim to do the recitation of Dua Iftitah. For Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك، وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك، فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وأقل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وعثرة قد أقلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الذل، وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها، على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره، وحمده الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يده، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما، إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير، ما حاجة بي إليه عظيمة، وغناك عنه قديم، وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي، وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي، وصفحك عن ظلمي، وسترك على قبيح عملي، وحلمك عن كثير جرم عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي. أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك، وأريتني من قدرتك، وعرفتني من إجابتك. فصرت أدعوك آمنا، وأسألك مستأنسا، لا خائفا ولا وجلا، مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبطأ عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلما أرى مولا كريما أصبر على عبد الله منك علي يا رب. إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك، وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك، وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك. كأن لي التطول عليك فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي، والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك الجاهل، وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك، مجري الفلك، مسخر الرياح، خالق الإصباح، ديان الدين، رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق، واسط الرزق، فالق الإصباح، الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى، وقرب فشهد النجوى، تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله، ولا شبيه يشاكله، ولا ظهير يعاضده، قهر بعزته الأعزاء، وتواضع لعظمته العظماء، فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي، ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا أعصيه، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازيه. فكم من موهبة هنيئة قد أعطاني، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني، وأثني عليه حامدا، واذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه، لا يغلق بابه، ولا يرد سائله، ولا يخيب عامله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين، وينجي الصالحين، ويرفع المستضعفين، ويضع المستكبرين، ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاسم الجبارين، مبير الظالمين، مدرك الهاربين، نكال الظالمين، صريخ المستصرخين، موضع حاجات الطالبين، معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها، وترجف الأرض وعمارها، وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا، وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق، ويرزق ولا يرزق، ويطعم ولا يطعم، ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى، وهو حي لا يموت، بيده الخير، وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك، وخيرتك من خلقك، وحافظ سرك، ومبلغ رسالاتك، أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى، وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم صل على علي أمير المؤمنين، ووصي رسول رب العالمين، عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك، وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. صل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة، وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين، محمد بن علي، وجعفر بن محمد، وموسى بن جعفر، وعلي بن موسى، ومحمد بن علي، وعلي بن محمد، والحسن بن علي، والخلف الهادي المهدي، حججك على عبادك وأمنك في بلادك، صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر، بملائكتك المقربين، ميته بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك، استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله، مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له، ابدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه واعزز به، وانصره وانتصر به، وانصره نصرا عزيزا، وافتح له فتحا يسيرا، واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم اظهر بدينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحدا من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا وما قصرنا عنه فبلغناه. اللهم المن به شعثنا واشعب به صدعنا وارتق به فتقنا كثر به قلتنا واعزز به ذلتنا واغني به عائلنا اقضي به عن مغرمنا واجبر به فقرنا وسد به خلتنا ويسر به عسرنا وبيض به وجوهنا وفك به يسرنا وانجح به طلبتنا وانجز به مواعيدنا واستجب به دعوتنا واعطنا به سؤلنا وبلغنا من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا واعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشفي به صدورنا واذهب به غيظ قلوبنا واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. صرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتضاير الزمان علينا. وصل على محمد وآل محمد وأعنا على ذلك. بفتح منك تعجل وبضر تكشف ونصر تعزه وسلطان حق تظهره ورحمة منك تجللنا وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد الطيبين الطاهرين.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa Jafarajum. Thank you so much, Brother Rasim, for the very beautiful recitation of Dua Iftitah. Now I'd like to request everyone to recite Surah Fatiha once and Surah Ikhlas 3 times for the marhumin and marhumat of today's sponsor, Brother Abrar, Sayyid Raza Hussain Jafri ibn Sayyid Jafar Hussain Jafri. For Muhammad wa ala Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa Jafarajum. Before I invite Taga to continue his lecture, I just want to say the 2 points that I thought were nice and important from previous topics. So the first point is the surah, the ayah that the youth have to memorize, and it is from Surah Ankabut, Surah number 29, verse 45, and it translates, recite that which has been revealed to you of the book and keep a prayer. Surely a prayer keeps one away from evil, and certainly the remembrance of Allah is great, and Allah knows what you do. And the second point that I thought was quite beautiful was that on the deathbed, Imam Ali alayhi salam advised people, he said, I advise you, give salam more importance and protect it. Why? Because it is the best of its action and it is the pillar of your religion. Now I'd like to request Aga to continue his amazing and informative lecture on the reflections and lessons in the Holy Quran. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa jafar.
Thank you, Damia. Thank you very much. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد والثناء لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. ثم الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما سيدي ومولاي بقية الله في الأراضين روحي وأرواح العالم له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I pray that all of you are doing well. Inshallah, your fasts are going well. And inshallah, we're all able to benefit and are benefiting from this holy month. So what we talked about yesterday was the verse that talked about Inna salat tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. And what we said, or we mentioned various verses talking about the importance of the salat or how the Quran looks at the salat. Like the daily, good old daily salat that we have, that we don't give sometimes as much importance. And we're looking for some magic potion, but it's right here. You know, and we talked about the riwayat, we talked about the traditions that
August, sorry to interrupt, but people are saying that they can't hear you properly.
Should I try the headphones again?
Yeah.
All right. Seems like the system alternates every day, huh?
Yeah.
Yesterday, this. Let's see if it's significantly better. Is this better by any chance?
It's clear, but the volume's a bit lower.
Okay. What do I do for that? Should I just do a dua? I don't know. Let me try to speak up. Is this better or?
Yeah, it's a bit clearer.
Okay. Inshallah, I hope it works. If it doesn't, then feel free to stop me in the middle, and inshallah we'll try to do something else if this is not good enough. Was there a message sent? No. Okay. So someone just sent you a private message saying that the volume's not good enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so someone just sent me a message saying that the last one was better. I don't know. Should I just take one off? Would that, I don't know. Is this better?
Yeah, it's louder, yeah.
It is louder?
Yeah.
But unclear.
There's a bit of background noise.
Okay, inshallah. Everyone please pray that we're able to, I don't know, pray special prayers. One of my favorite people in Ireland, I just saw his name pop up. I know that if he makes a dua, then there's a good chance that it's gonna. Are you there, Cheyenne? Where's Cheyenne? Is he there? If he makes a special dua for us, he's one of my favorite, not the only one of my favorite girls. So Cheyenne, please make a dua for us that this works out and we're able to get through this, inshallah. Okay, so, and also Daniel, please, you won't be interrupting. Please do let me know if at any point it gets to a point where you're not, it's not working at all.
Yeah.
Do let me know. Okay. Anyways, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So we talked about the salat, we talked about the importance of salat through the verses, we talked about the importance of salat and various aspects of it through the ahadith, and what we decided was that today we will talk about some of the practical aspects of it. And I don't know if I think it was Brother Adi who sent a few questions yesterday. I actually don't know if he's here or not, but if you are, could you please just resend your questions so I don't misquote them, if he's there. And then inshallah I can answer those along the way. Anyone else have any questions? If you think it's better, Daniel, what we can do is I can talk for a shorter time today and then take questions because it's more practical stuff. I don't know. I've been kind of repeating it from day one that, I'm willing to take questions in the middle and even like people if they want to speak up, but no one's spoken up yet. Let's see. So it's there. The offer is there. So one of the advantages of it being online is that this sort of a thing could be easier. So if people are up for it, I'm okay with that. If anyone has any questions, please do message your questions through. If you would like to speak up in the middle, please raise your hand, and inshallah we'll figure it out. Anyways, let's move on. Sorry, the computer is also doing funny things. Okay, inshallah this should be good. So one of the verses that we talked about yesterday, was قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Right? Certainly, the mu'minun are the ones who will be successful. Who are the mu'minun? الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. One of the attributes is that they're humbled in their prayers. Okay, so keep that in your mind. And again, yesterday Daniel had sent all the references, so they should be there somewhere in the chat. I think it removes the chat. Regardless, it's there. The verse that I would like to talk about today, or start off with today, is Surah Hadid. Okay, Surah Hadid, which is chapter 57, verse number 16. Surah Hadid, chapter number 57, verse number 16. And guess what? This is your memorization number. What are we at now? 5?
Yeah, number 5.
Okay, there you go. Surah Hadid, chapter 57, verse number 16. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ وَلَا يَكُونَ. I'll stop there and then I'll continue. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ is basically, it's almost like God is like, he's surprised and is kind of complaining. You know how we say, are you serious? Is that what you're gonna? It's sort of that sort of a tone, how I feel like. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Has the time not come? Are you serious? Has the time not come? أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Has the time not come for the people who have brought iman, who have iman? أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Has the time not come that the people who believe, that the hearts be humbled for the remembrance of Allah? Has the time not come? What else is it going to take? Has the time not come? وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ. And that their hearts are humbled for what was sent down as the truth. And it continues. وَلَا يَكُونُ كَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. And that they're not like the people before them who were given the books. Right? So the people who were sent down the books, the people who believe now, can they not be like those who were there before them who were given the book? And then this is where it gets really heavy. فَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدُ فَقَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُم. Because the time had not come for their hearts to be humbled for the dhikr and the remembrance of Allah, فَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدُ. So time passed them by. فَقَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُم. And their hearts were hardened. Their hearts were hardened to a point where sometimes when the hearts are hardened, there is no way back. And why did a person reach that stage? The verse is saying because their hearts were not humbled for the dhikr of Allah. The human being was not humbled to remember its creator. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. And I realize that it's a long verse, so the memorization part is only this part, okay? I'm going to say it right now. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. And I'll stop there. But it's good to know the rest of it as well, even if you don't have it memorized, because of the message that it gives. Because it says, if your hearts are not humbled for the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what happens? The consequences of that are mentioned later on in the verse. فَطَالَ عَلَيْهُمُ الْأَمَدُ. They'll be just like the people from before them who were given the books and they did make the same mistakes. فَطَالَ عَلَيْهُمُ الْأَمَدُ. And time passed them by. فَقَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُم. And the hearts were hardened. Does it really matter to me if my heart's hardened or soft? Well, these sort of wants that we have in life of wanting to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these wants that we have in life to be able to connect with Imam Hussein better, these wants that we have in life to be able to pray the salat in a way where I can concentrate, and so on and so forth. All these wants, right? Sometimes we see people, they can pray all night long. Sometimes we see people, they can read du'as all night long. Why can I not do that? One of the possibilities is because of qasat qulubuhum, because the hearts have hardened. Some people I know, when they hear the name of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, they start crying. Why can I not do that? One of the possible reasons for that is qasat qulubuhum. Because this individual who is supposed to be a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has slowly moved away from his Lord, not realizing that he's not only is he his creator, but he is also his ultimate goal. So that's that. Right, so the importance of the khushu' that we talked about yesterday in one of the verses. And over here it's talking about general dhikrillah. But the salat or the namaz that we're talking about is included within that dhikr, at least in the context of many of the verses of the Quran. So the verse that we had was Surah Mu'minun, chapter 23, verse 2. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. So we understand one of the important things for our success in salat is that khushu'. Khushu' means humility. Khushu' means humbleness in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's put this to the side and inshallah we'll come back to it. When we talk about the importance of salat and trying to be able to improve our salat to a point where we don't think it's a burden on us anymore, we actually enjoy praying. Is that something that's a far-fetched idea? Is that something that's only in folk tales and in ahadith is just for the imams? The answer is no. The answer is no. Look at our personal relationships with people. There's some people who, we kind of don't mind hanging out with. There's some people that, we can't stand to hang out with. But there's some people who we just, no matter how much we hang out with them, it's just not enough. It's just not enough, right? It's so much fun. We're so attracted to this personality. We have so much fun with this person. So we do understand the concept of there's some people that we want to hang out with, some people no, not so much, and some people that we almost can't live without them. I can hang out with them all day, all night, and still not get bored. So we understand that concept. Similarly, when one goes and stands up in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have the exact same spectrum here as well, where people who, remember the verse in Surah Nisa, chapter 4, verse 142, we talked about it. وَإِذَا قَامُوا إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ قَامُوا كُسَالَى. That when they stand up for prayer, they stand up in a very tired and lazy and not very interested way. So there are those people as well. Surah number 4, chapter 4, Surah Nisa, verse 142. But then there's people who, as we mentioned in Munajat al-Muhibbin, the whispered prayer of the lovers by Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but regardless. Munajat al-Muhibbin. It's one of those 15 whispered prayers of Imam al-Sajjad, where he says, Ilahi, man dha alladhi dhaqa halawata mahabbatik, farama minka badala. Oh Allah, who can it be who's tasted the sweetness of your love and then opted for something else? وَمَنْ ذَا الَّذِي أَنِسَ بِقُرْبِكَ فَابْتَغَى عَنْكَ حِوَلًا. And oh Allah, who can it be who has this uns, who has this relationship, this strong inclination, and has grown used to qurbik, to being close to you? Who can it be that who's reached that stage and then opted for something else? So what we understand is this is what the Imams are calling us towards. They're calling us towards a point where we reach a point where we're in complete love, in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where hanging out with Him is something I look forward to. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did he used to say to Bilal when it was time for Salah? Does anyone know? Daniel, don't get nervous. I'm not going to pick on you. but if you do know it, please go ahead. What did he used to say to Bilal when it's time for Salah? Anyone? Arihna ya Bilal. Right? Do azan. Yeah, so do azan it is true, but he used to say Arihna ya Bilal. Meaning that, Bilal, yes, do the adhan, but through that, give us that peace and that longing that we have for, the thing that we have that longing for. Arihna ya Bilal. Relieve us of the stress of this world. So the Holy Prophet is anxiously waiting for the time of the adhan. Is anxiously waiting for the time of the salah. It's not that far-fetched, brothers and sisters. We have that with our friends, don't we? When our best friend, I don't know, I have to wait till the weekend before I can go see them. And I'm anxiously waiting for that weekend. Or my family is coming from somewhere else, or I'm going to go visit some of my family or some of my friends in the summer. Months and months, I'm anxiously waiting for that. Right? So we do realize, we do feel like that. It's just that we don't feel like that for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, usually. But the possibility is there. Okay? The possibility is there. So starting off with there you go. Thank you. Thank you. At least the names are apparently brothers. I don't know if there's families who are sending the messages or not. But yes, recite the adhan and give us peace. So thank you, Brother Muhammad Sheikh, Muhammad Rizvi, and Ayan. Thank you very much. Please feel free to raise your hand and speak as well in the middle, okay? If not, feel free to keep sending messages. So we take a little bit of pressure off of Daniel. He's not the only one sitting here in front of me. So anyways, let's move on. So there's some of the etiquettes are the apparent. They're not that deep, but they do have a deep effect. And these are things that we've heard over and over and over, but we just don't sometimes give importance to it. Okay, and I'll go through them, and you've heard these before. For example, wearing clean clothes. Does it make a difference? Come on, is it really that deep? If it wasn't that deep, the Prophet and the Imams would not have put emphasis on it. Would not have put it as an etiquette of salah. Clean clothes. Number two, I'm quickly going to go through these because I don't want to discuss them really. It's just things that we've heard, but we don't do. And yet we wonder why our salat is not getting to the point that it needs to get to. Okay? Clean clothes. Cologne or perfume. Good scent before we stand up for salat. This is something that's highly recommended. Highly recommended. Doing a fresh wudu. Sometimes, alhamdulillah, there's brothers and sisters who have the habit of being in wudu throughout the day. That's beautiful. one of the first step advice that the teachers of spirituality, teachers of akhlaq give to people who are trying to pursue that path towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is try to stay in a state of purity or wudu for the entire day. If you break your wudu for whatever reason, you had to go to the restroom or whatever else, go do wudu again. Go do wudu and stay in a state of wudu. Is it okay? So here, see, this is what I like. All the interesting questions in the mind start. Is it true that if you die with wudu, you are a shaheed? Possibly there's a hadith that says that. I don't at least remember it right now. But what that usually means is not that it will be exactly the same. Anyways, it's a deeper question. So inshallah, hopefully we'll get time to um, answer it at another point. But the point is, it at the very least, it highlights the importance of wudu, right? That's the very least. The other thing is it going to be the exact same thing as, for example, a shaheed in, I don't know, in Imam Hussein's time, there was one person who, I don't know, went to Karbala and became shaheed. Another person died a natural death with wudu. Will they be the exact same? No, I don't think so. So there, even within the shuhada, right, there's various levels. As the hadith goes, they say like every shaheed is going to look at the status of Abul Fadl al-Abbas, right, Hazrat Abbas alayhi salatu wasalam, and they're going to like want to, they'll feel remorse that why am I not at that level? That why did I not do enough? So there's traditions about that. Anyways, so what we understand is there's different levels. Fresh wudu, even if you have wudu, the hadith says, Nurun ala nur. Do I need to do wudu? Come on, I have wudu already. Do I need to do wudu to go do salat? No, you don't have to. But the tradition says, Nurun ala nur. That it's even better. It's much better if you do a fresh wudu for going and doing salat. So these are just 3 examples, but you've read other examples, right? You've read other examples. Actually, let me just mention one more that Ayatollah Jawadi Amuli has specified that I have heard from him, which is that if possible, have a specific place in your house where you do the salat, where you understand and give this place the respect that it deserves. Right? And I understand that this is not always possible for everyone in their house. I completely understand that and realize that. It's okay. If you're not able to, then that's fine. But to whatever extent it's possible, for whoever has extra rooms in their house, maybe they can assign an entire room for it. For anyone who has half a room, maybe can assign half a room. For whoever who has a corner, maybe they can assign that corner. And I know everyone has corners in their houses, right, Daniel? Same thing in Ireland. Everyone has corners in their houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. That's what I was guessing as well, right? So it's basic. It's basically assigning a place and giving that place that respect. So yes, it's not going to all of a sudden become a masjid. So all the ahkam and the laws of the masjid apply there. No, but the respect. If you can give that place that respect, if you have a place like that, then that helps one focus better. Helps one get into the state of mind of being ready for the salat. So this is a point that Atullah Jawadi had once mentioned. Okay, so these are the more apparent things. Let's get into some of the slightly deeper things. Okay, and then we'll finish with the even more deeper things. The timing of the salat. The timing of the salat. We talked about this verse yesterday, which is Surah Ma'un, chapter 107, verse number 5. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ. I feel like Sorry, I feel like let me just quickly make sure I'm not reading the, yes, الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Right? So, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, woe be upon those who pray. Right? You're taken aback. Woe upon the ones who pray or who don't pray. No, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, the ones who do pray. But which ones? الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ, that the people who are heedless of their prayers, who don't give enough importance to their prayers, right? They take it lightly. And one of the questions that was asked yesterday is that only about timing? No, it's not only about timing. Any of these things, even the attributes that we talked about, even the etiquettes that we talk about, even these can be considered. If I say, okay, I have a perfume, but no, I'm not going to use it because it doesn't make a difference. No, that's rejecting the etiquettes that have become us through. So at a lower level, but even that can be considered taking it lightly. But if you look at the tafsir or the commentary of Allama Tabatabai in Al-Mizan, one of the things that he talks about when he talks about this verse, where it's saying فَوَيْلُ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ, one of the main things, so he doesn't talk a lot about it, but one of the things, the main thing that he talks about is the timing. Do I give importance to my salah? And one of the ways for me to understand if I give importance to it or not is, if I'm doing something else, do I stop it for my salat or not? In my daily schedule, do I have a time for my salat or not? And even in here, there's an entire spectrum, right? There's an entire spectrum of people. There's people who will wait till like 10 minutes before midnight and then pray their salah. And they would ask you, hey, is it haram for me to do that? And your answer is, no, it's not haram. So is my prayer accepted? Yeah, sure, it's accepted. Is it accepted with flying colors? Am I going to be at the highest level of Jannah, hanging out with Amir al-Mu'mineen in the hereafter? I don't know. Not too sure about that. Because Amir al-Mu'mineen will probably be praying at the early hour. If you're playing video games or watching movies or hanging out with friends or whatever else, I don't know if you can make the cut of the closest friends of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Right? It's just not going to cut it. It's just not the same interests. You know how even at school or college or university or even after that, there's different kinds of people who have different interests. And usually the better of your friends are the ones who, not the better as in who are better for you, but the closer friends to an individual are usually the ones whose interests are similar. So if I'm someone who's going to be pushing it back, yes, fine, it's not haram maybe, but it is counted as not giving it importance. And Allama Tabatabai says that. He says not only just delaying it beyond the time of the wajib, but even sometimes delaying it beyond the time of the fazilat or the fadila. Right? So for example, if for Maghrib, the time of the fadila is within 15 or 20 minutes of the adhan of Maghrib. If I'm someone who's serious about making my salat into and taking it to the level of inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar, if I'm serious about that, then I need to be able to try to get my salat into the time of fadila, into the best of times. Otherwise, there's there's a contradiction within myself. If I say I would like my salat to improve, if I say that I want to be close to Amir al-Mu'mineen, if I say or want or long for wanting to be one of the helpers of our Imam, but I don't listen to what my Imam says. Okay, so there's a question, and because I said, there's questions that are coming through, and I asked for that, so I'll answer it along. So here, salam wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. Should you have iftar first or do salah? Let's see if anyone else has who knows the answer to this. Okay, one person says salah, salah, salah is better, but both are okay. Salah, but both are okay. Okay, can you guys speak in more fiqhi terms? I don't know if that makes sense. According to Imam Baqir, salat first. There you go. He just put it down. If you have energy. Okay, so this is good. This is good. Okay, if you have energy is a really good point. So salat is offered while fasting. I don't know. Is that what is said in the riwayat? I don't know. I don't remember that part. But anyways, thank you very much. Thank you very much for everyone getting involved. I really appreciate that. So I'm not sure. I don't remember that in the tradition, but if there is a tradition where he says, so the salat is offered during fasting, then that could be one of the reasons. But the ulama say that it's mustahab for one to break their fast after Maghrib and Isha Salah. Okay? At least explicitly stated in Sayyid Sistani's Risala. And I believe I've seen it in other risalas as well. So it's mustahab. It's mustahab. Now, sometimes what happens, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but inshallah it's okay. Sometimes what happens is we don't realize the difference between mustahab and very mustahab and wajib. Right? There's traditions. Say for example, right? You have people waiting for you for iftar. For whatever reason, 5, 6, 10, 15 people are waiting for you. And they said, you know, we really want you to come have iftar with us, we'll eat with you. Is this something that can maybe trump the importance of doing the mustahab of praying, of opening your fast after doing salah? My answer is yes, very possibly yes. Or say, for example, as one of the people over here mentioned, if you have energy, regardless of fasting, this is also said in the Risala, that if there's things that are going to take away from your attention, whether it's extreme hunger or whatever it is, in your salat, and you can go, you know, take care of that and then come back, then go ahead, take care of that, and then come back. For example, going to the bathroom is one. For example, extreme hunger is one, and so on and so forth. So anyways, generally, conclusion, it's better, it is mustahab to break your fast after Maghrib and Isha, but there are valid exceptions to that. You have to judge it out. The feelings of a mu'min, the heart of a mu'min, making a mu'min happy is also worth a lot. A lot. Okay, so that's that. The importance of salah, the timing is extremely important. Extremely important. Okay, so that's number one. So we've talked about several things. I hope whoever was interested and had asked the question, I hope they're taking notes. We talked about some of the more apparent things: clean clothes, perfume, fresh wudu, assigning a specific place in the house, timing, extremely important. Okay. Scheduling. When you say timing, it entails two things. One is doing it at the earliest time possible. Another is having a set schedule for it. Okay, and I'll explain what the difference can be. Say someone their work schedule is such that they're not able to pray at the earliest time, or their school schedule is such. or whatever. Sometimes it is possible for you to pray at work or in school, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's possible for you to pray at the earliest time at school and work, sometimes it's not. So all of that is considered. All of that is considered. Assuming that there's someone who is not able to pray at the earliest hour every single day, there is benefit in having a, say for example, just for example's sake, that 1 p.m. is the Zohar time, okay? 1 p.m. is the Zohar time. For whatever reason, valid reason, this person can never pray before 2 p.m. So an hour later, because they're at work, school, whatever the thing is. However, if they set their schedule in such a way that every day at work or school or at home, wherever, at 2 p.m., they do pray, that in and of itself has value. Because now, once I have a set schedule, everyone, all of my friends know, I know that my salat schedule is such that from 2 to 2:30, don't call me. I'm not going to message you back. Don't ask me to come out for lunch. Don't ask me to come shopping with you. Don't call me to log on and connect online so we can play a video game. None of that. So in and of itself, having a specific schedule for salat allows a person to be able to concentrate better. So this is one of the aspects of the overall question of how can I concentrate better. One of them is specific place, so you get into the zone. Another one is the timing also matters, where I know that, so it's not the case that I'm, okay, I need to go play football with my friends, but wait, let me just quickly, do, it's almost, it all looks more like a warm-up for my football rather than a salat, right? So that's that. I'm not, even when I'm praying in that kind of a state, I'm probably already thinking, okay, you know what I'm going to do today? While I'm in ruku, I'm already like, okay, I'm going to pass it this way, and I'm going to try to score, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. No, it's not. That's not going to get you where you're trying to get to. If you don't care about salah, that's another thing. But this is for the people who want to improve. If I create a schedule for myself where I have a specific time for salah, 2 to 2:30, for example, then I know that there is no football there. There is no eating there. There is no lunch there. There is no phone calls there. There is no WhatsApp there. There is no Zoom there. There is nothing there. Nothing there. So that's one thing that can help with the timing. How much time do we have? We have about 20 minutes. Is that right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about two more things. And of course, there's a lot of things to talk about. Right? There's entire books that have been written about how to be able to take the salat to a next level. What we need to understand for salat, for the Quran, for any of those things, is everything is step by step by step. If I haven't taken the first 3 steps, for example, I should not, I don't want to say I should not, but the benefits of me trying to try to understand level 20, it's not extremely beneficial for me. I need to be able to take step 1, 2, 3 before I start zooming in on level 20. Yes, possibly it's beneficial for me to know that there's a level 20, possibly what happens at a level 20, possibly what books I can read at level 20, or what scholars I should refer to at level 20. All of those things are good information. But me zooming in on level 20, but I need 1 through 19 to be able to get there. So that's extremely important, an important point. I wish I had the English version of this, but I don't have it with me right now. But let me, okay, I'll just say it in English, brothers. So I'm quoting from the book of Imam Khomeini, rahmatullah alayhi, okay, where he has a book called Adab-us-Salat. It's actually translated into English as well. And remember the verse we had, Surah Al-Mu'minun, chapter 23, verse 2, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. They're humble. They have humility when they stand up for prayer. And this is one of the important points over here that Imam Khomeini talks about. So he's explaining what khushu is. What is this humility that you're talking about? And what he says is, this is something that's khudu, which is humility in a way, but it usually comes with a package of either love for Allah or fear for Allah. Meaning that it's not just an apparent, putting your head down and, your shoulders down. Yes, that is good for salah. But that's just the apparent. What we're looking for is for the hearts to humble as well. Alam ya'ni, our verse for today. Alam ya'ni lilladhina amanu an takhsha'a, not them takhsha'a, takhsha'a qulubuhum li dhikrillah, that their hearts are humbled for the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So that feeling needs to come from within. It can't just be something apparent. There has to be an aspect that is coming from within. And he says that this love or this fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from within, from deep inside, which is reflected as khushu on the outside. He says this is a result of understanding the level and the magnitude and the adama and how grand this entity that I'm standing in front of is. Okay? Understanding. Understanding means what? Means knowledge. Means ma'rifah. We've talked about this several days ago. How one of the key things that you and I need to be able to pursue this journey that I want to pursue is knowledge, is ma'rifah. Over here, Imam Khomeini, rahmatullah alayhi, may Allah inshallah elevate his status. He's saying the most important thing for you to be able to reach that level of humility when you stand up for prayer is a realization, an understanding of the magnitude, of the grandeur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is this entity that I'm standing in front of? Okay, so that's one thing. That's one thing. But it truly is the most important thing. And when you open up the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and inshallah, I'm hoping to talk about that later on in our discussions as well. When you're talking about the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will not come except with at least two things. One is raw knowledge. When I say raw knowledge, I mean actually studying the sciences, studying theology, studying aqaid, rationally understanding that why do I believe in a God? Does a God even exist? What does this God want from me? And so on and so forth. What are the attributes of this God? So that's one thing, which is raw knowledge. But the second, and almost as important, or even in some cases more important than that knowledge, I said two, let me make it three. Okay? Let me make it three. Number one is raw knowledge. Number one is raw knowledge. The second thing, I don't know how to say this so I don't cause more confusion then. Just give me a second, please. Okay, so one is raw knowledge. The other thing is to be able to contemplate that raw knowledge. Remember the first thing we talked about? أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. What do I mean by contemplate? Meaning, when I say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, or say Alhamdulillah, and I say all praises to Allah, how to be able to think about that everything that I have is from Allah. To be able to understand that when I say bihawlillahi wa quwwatihi aqumu wa aq'ud, that me just standing up from the state of sajda, sitting up and standing up, bihawlillahi wa quwwatihi, it is only through the help of Allah, through the power of Allah, that can I stand up and sit down. It is only through Allah, understanding that even my movements over here are with the help of Allah, understanding that the feet I'm standing on are from the help of Allah, understanding that the school that I would quickly want to go finish my namaz and get to my homework, finish my namaz and get to sports, finish my namaz and get to my video games, finish my namaz and get to the movie, everything that I want to get to after namaz is something that is given to me by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Either I'm using it properly or not using it properly. And when we talk about the purpose of creation, remember we talked about that initially, that everything that's been given to me is so I can use that to be able to get closer to Allah, to be able to pursue that journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now look at how confused I am. I'm standing up for salat so I can get close to Allah. But I'm thinking about other things which also I'm supposed to be using to get close to Allah. But those things, first of all, I'm misusing them, that they're actually taking me away from God. That's one thing. Not only that, but I'm thinking about them during salat, which in and of itself is supposed to be a means for me to get closer to God. So it's just confusion upon confusion upon confusion, veil upon veil upon veil, ghafla upon ghafla upon ghafla, inattentiveness upon inattentiveness upon inattentiveness. It's just exponential inattentiveness. Not only do I not understand the salat that I'm supposed to be establishing to be able to get closer to God, but even the things that I'm thinking about. Sometimes I'm thinking about good things. How will I memorize the Quran so I can become, so I have the Quran with me and so I can memorize this and then I can go teach people and it'll be the best because the Prophet has said, the best of you. Wait, dear brother, you're thinking about really good things, but you want to become a Quran teacher so you can go closer to God. Forget about thinking about that during your salah. I'm thinking about things of how to improve myself. Within salat, there's a contradiction there. Because the salat in and of itself, standing in front of my Lord in humility, is supposed to get me closer to God in and of itself. Yes, but remember, the knowledge and the ma'rifah is a huge component. So if I have a level of understanding of Allah, which is level 1, I should not expect the salat of level 2. Forget level 10. If I have an understanding of level 1, I have the expectation of being able to benefit from the Quran at a level 2. Everything in my life is going to be relative to my ma'rifah, to my understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything. So that is the most foundational thing that I need to work on. So that's number 2. One is raw knowledge. The other is contemplation. Raw knowledge, meaning learning the science. Contemplation, thinking about it. Number 3 is dua and begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not thinking that it is me through my actions that I will get at that level. Yes, my actions are important, brothers and sisters, but there's a huge component which is extremely important as well, which is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who controls everything. Surah number 14, Surah Ibrahim. Surah Ibrahim, verse number 40. A dua narrated. Rabbi ja'alni muqim as-salati wa min dhurriyati. O Allah, make me of those who establish prayer and from my offspring, and from my progeny, and from my children. Rabbana wa taqabbal du'a. O my Lord, O our Lord, and accept my dua. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. Oh Allah, and so on and so forth. The translation is there, you can look it up. But the important thing over here is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give me the tawfiq, begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every single person from the prophets to the imams to the scholars who've been able to reach a certain point is through begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through humbling themselves in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through admitting that I am nothing, Allah, everything is from you, O Allah. So give me the tawfiq of begging Him and begging Him and begging Him. And this begging can be done through the du'as, through the munajats that we have narrated through the imams. Right? It's all there for you and I to be able to benefit from. There's a question that was sent over here. How can we stop thinking about other stuff during namaz? And then they said, I got my answer. But I want to add to that. Allama Misbah, rahmatullah alayhi, who recently passed away, was one of the greatest contemporary scholars that we had in the Hawza. Allama Misbah Yazdi. Ayatollah Misbah Yazdi. So I'd heard this from him directly in one of the gatherings where he was speaking. He said, do not expect for your mind to be in your control during your salat. And I really, really, truly, may Allah inshallah elevate his soul, bless his soul and elevate his level. I truly think these are words that we should write in gold and put it in that specific place that we have for salat. Do not expect to control your mind during the salat. If during the entire day you do not control your eyes, you do not control your tongue, you do not control your ears, you do not control your hands, you do not control your legs. Meaning what? That if I'm so freely sinning with my tongue, saying whatever comes, if I'm so freely looking at whatever I want to, sinning with my eyes, if I'm so easily listening to whatever I want, sinning with my ears, sinning with my hands, sinning with my feet. So I think that is one of the most nicest and concise and full answers that I've heard to that question. And it's absolutely true that if a person does not have taqwa, does not respect the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how can you imagine that Allah will allow this person to get close to them? Absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible. So we talked about a lot of things, some apparent things, some more internal things. Right? We talked about humility, we talked about the importance of knowledge in it, we talked about the importance of actually reading a hadith about it. For example, the hadith that I mentioned yesterday, that when one stands in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his entire attention is upon the slave. If I can get into the habit of exactly at a certain time, even if for whatever reason it's not the earliest time, I have a schedule for it. I stand there, I come with wudu, I do the du'as during wudu. I realize, why was Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, why was he shivering? Why was he pale during doing wudu? Because he realized these things. He thought about these things, that I'm going to stand in front of Rabbul Alameen, the Lord of all the worlds, Maliki Yawmiddin, the master of the day of judgment, where everyone will be running in their own direction. I'm going in front of that being right now. That's why he's pale. That's why he's shivering. Because when he does his wudu, he reads the du'as, at least thinks about the du'as, that, oh Allah, nawwir wajhi, make my face bright on the day when the faces won't be bright. Oh Allah, when he watches his right hand, oh Allah, give me the book in my right hand. A person who understands the day of judgment, who is attentive of the Day of Judgment, who's attentive of the actions, attentive of the du'as, they would turn pale, they would feel distressed. Oh Allah, make me steadfast on the sirat when he's doing mas or wiping of the feet. Right? So the entire mindset needs to come. And honestly, talking about salat, you can literally, if you talk about the details of the various aspects of salat, you can probably talk about it for more than 10 days. So it's an extremely important topic. Remember, knowledge for us, for my understanding to become better, raw knowledge, contemplation, thinking about things, putting two and two together, being able to reach conclusions, being able to see, for example, hypocrisies within myself. The example that we talked about, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Contemplation. Number 3 is begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Begging Him for Him to be able to grant me the status of being able to be a khashi'un, one of the khashi'un in my salah. Concentration in prayer, again, the wudu, the place, the time, all of these helps. But the most foundational thing is what we quoted from Ayatollah Misbah Yazdi, that if you're not going to try to at least control your eyes and your tongue and your ears and your mouth and your everything during the day, then don't expect that all of a sudden for these 5 minutes of your day that your mind will be in your control. In your control. Begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for these things, for the tawfiq, is absolutely essential. Cannot emphasize it enough. Cannot emphasize it enough. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me just say 2 more points, inshallah. So there are other etiquettes of salat as well that you've read in different places. For example, praying in Jamaat, for example, praying at the masjid, and so on and so forth. There is a lot of emphasis on these things. Wherever you see things that are mustahab, that are emphasis, anyone who wants to take their salat seriously, they take every bit of those things seriously and tries to put all of it together and inshallah be able to reach the level that they want to reach, and how the Quran quotes, talks about the mu'minun, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. May Allah inshallah give us the tawfiq to be of the khashi'un in our salat and be of the yuhafidhun ala salatihim yuhafidhun in our salat, and may Allah not make us of those who are an salatihim sahun or qamu kusala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of these blessed nights, give us the tawfiq to be able to understand the salat better, to be able to benefit from the salat better, and give us the tawfiq to be able to improve our salat during this month, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us our sins, forgive the sins of our parents, forgive the sins of all the mu'mineen, especially those who contributed towards this program today, or the sponsors of the program. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of these blessed nights, hasten the reappearance of our Imam and include us amongst his sincerest followers. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, Aga. Yesterday someone messaged me that these lectures are going to be. So these lectures are going to be uploaded on YouTube. And if they already haven't been uploaded on YouTube, they'll be uploaded soon, inshallah. And we're going to conclude our event with the recitation of Dua Imam Zaman number Muhammad wa Muhammad Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم كن لوليك حجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه وعبدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد